form is very important when doing the kettlebell swing. First I want to demonstrate without a kettlebell. You want to focus on using your hips for momentum. So if you've not done a swing before, let's go through this motion. If you have, you can fast forward through this part. All right, this is for a beginner, for someone who's not familiar with the kettlebell swing motion. So you're using your hips for momentum. It's called a kettlebell swing. So think of if you're on a playground and you're pushing a child on a swing, that's what you're doing with a kettlebell. So imaginary kettlebell in the hands, feet are wider than hips, and you're thrusting your hips, and your arms just kind of naturally go up. All right? So watch my hips going back and forth. Most of my power is coming from there. I'm going to grab a kettlebell. Again, you want your feet wider than your hips. Swing that kettlebell through your legs, but don't go below your knees. So you don't want to bend over and go way down here. You just want to swing. So again, this is just a partial swing just to get you ready for that motion. Learning how to use your hips to push the kettlebell. What you don't want to do is you don't want to let that kettlebell pull your arms up. That takes away too much from your arms and your shoulders. So again, learn to use your hips to get that kettlebell to swing. And then once you get used to that motion, go into that swing. Let that kettlebell go above your head about 45 degrees. So this is your double arm swing. You're using one kettlebell, two hands. You can also do a one arm swing. Switch kettlebells, grab a lighter one. So it's the same motion, except since the kettlebell is in one arm, the arm that you're not using, you want to kind of keep that in that same motion. So again, the kettlebell's in front of you. I'll demonstrate from the front. Swing up. You don't want to have a tight grip on the kettlebell. You want it loose, not too loose. You don't want it to go flying away from you, but again, you're using your hips for momentum. You're not pulling it up. Your hips are actually pushing your arm into that swing motion. If you're doing single arm kettlebell swings, you want to do the same amount of reps on either side, on each side, or the same amount of time. Or you can advance a little and you can alternate. So if you'd rather alternate your hands during your single arm swing, you want to switch off when you're at the upper part of your swing. So again, rather than doing your single arm swing, which is this, and repeating the same amount of reps on each side, what you want to do is get your momentum going and then switch the top. This is why you want to have a loose grip. Not too loose because you don't want the thing to get away from you. So make sure you're very comfortable with the swinging motion before you go into alternating hands. And there you go, 3 levels. You can do double arm swings. You can do single arm where you do the same amount of reps on one side and then the other, or you can alternate. So practice on that form and enjoy.